Hello ladies and gentlemen, in today's video we will start with chapter 3, which is the consonants of English. You must understand and then memorize all information that is explained in this video. So pay much attention and listen very carefully because there is a quick quiz at the end of the video. So prepare a piece of paper and let's get started. How we can describe English consonants. After we have studied what's meant by consonants in the previous videos, we are going to describe consonants according to their voicing, place of articulation, manner of articulation, and others like strength, length, and intensity. It's a little bit ambiguous, isn't it? So let's make it clear for you by explaining some of these points in details with some extra important notes that you should be aware of. Voicing. Some consonants are voiced and others are voiceless. Voiced consonants are produced with the vibration of the vocal cords, while the voiceless consonants don't have any vibration. Vowels, nasals, glidings, and laterals, which we will deal with each one of them later, are all voiced. Voiceless consonants are always strong, long, and fortis, while voiced consonants are always weak, short, and lenis. Strong consonants at the end of the word shorten the preceding vowel, while the weak consonant lengthen it. Place of articulation. The place of articulation of a consonant is the point of contact where the obstruction occurs. Manner of articulation. The manner of articulation is the way that the air stream is affected as it flows from the lungs and out the nose and mouth. Fricative consonants. To describe the 24 consonants clearly, we will classify them into 6 types: fricatives, stops, affricates, nasals, laterals, and glidings or approximants. In this video, we will start with fricative consonants. Fricative consonants are those sounds which are produced with audible friction. By narrowing the air passage at some point in the oral cavity, and when the air tries to escape through this narrow, it causes friction. Fricative consonants are further, thurther, serzer, sherger, and her. Let's explain each one of them in details. F and V. These two sounds are produced between the lower lip and the upper front teeth, hence they are called labiodentals. To produce F or V, the soft palate is raised so that no air goes through the nose, and all of it is forced through the mouth. The bottom lip is very close to the upper front teeth. This forms a narrowing, and when the air is pushed through this narrowing, it causes slight friction. Since these sounds have friction, so we will call them fricatives. To describe F and V, we will say F is voiceless labiodental fricative. V is voiced labiodental fricative. Pay attention to the figure and notice how these sounds are articulated. Now let's practice some examples. F and V initially. Fast and fast. F and V medially. Suffer and cover. F and V finally. Life and live. F and V. These sounds are produced when the tip of the tongue is placed close to the upper front teeth, hence they are called dentals. To produce the or the soft palate is raised so that all the air is forced to go through the mouth. The tip of the tongue is close to the upper front teeth. This is the narrowing where the friction is made. Also, since these sounds have friction, we will call them fricatives. To describe th and the, we will say th is voiceless dental fricative. The is voiced dental fricative. Pay attention to the figure and notice how these sounds are articulated. Now let's practice some examples. The and the initially. Thin and then. The and the medially. Author and other. The and the finally. Faith, bathe. S and z. These are produced when the tip or the blade of the tongue makes contact with the alveolar ridge, or one of them is close to the alveolar ridge. Hence they are called alveolus. To produce s or z, the soft palate is raised so that all the air is forced to go through the mouth. The teeth are very close together. the tip and the blade of the tongue are very close to the alveolar ridge. There is a very considerable narrowing at this point, which will cause friction. Also, because these sounds have friction, we will call them frigatives. To describe s and z, we will say s is voiceless alveolar frigative. Z is voiced alveolar frigative. Pay attention to the figure and notice how these sounds are articulated. S, Z. Now let's practice some examples. S and Z initially. Safe and save. S and Z medially. Loser and loser. S and Z finally. Place and plays. Sh and j. These are produced when the tongue touches the area just behind the alveolar ridge. Hence, they are called post-alveolus. To produce sh or j, the soft palate is raised so that all the air is forced to go through the mouth. There is a narrowing between the tip of the tongue and the back of the alveolar ridge, and this narrowing will cause friction. Since these sounds have friction, we will call them frigatives. To describe sh and j, we will say sh is voiceless post-alveolar fricative. J is voiced post-alveolar fricative. Pay attention to the figure and notice how these sounds are articulated. Sh, j. Now let's practice some examples. J does not occur at the beginning of English words, but sh quite frequently does. Sh initially. Shy. Sh and j medially. Vision and ocean. Sh and j finally. Finish and beige. H. This sound is produced between the glottis, the space between the vocal cords, hence is called glottal. To describe h, we will say h is voiceless glottal fricative. Pay attention to the figure and notice how these sounds are articulated. Now let's practice some examples. H initially. Heart. H medially. Inhale. There is no example ends with h, because h does not occur at the end of English words. We have reached the end of the video. To test your understanding, we have made a quick quiz for you. Describe the following sounds according to the criteria we have just mentioned in the video. Pause the video and try to answer these questions. Don't worry if you fail in the first attempt. Keep trying until you can answer all questions correctly. Thanks for watching and hope you learned something useful. See you in the next video. Goodbye.